Hello, hello, hello. How are you all doing? Welcome to the second edition of Montessori Mondays with Holly. How are you guys all doing? Let me know in the chat if you are here. Let me know by saying hi and tell me where you are tuning in from. I know we have people from all over the world in this group. So let me know where you're tuning in from in the comments. And as always, let me know if you're joining live or if you're here on the replay, go ahead and put a hashtag replay into the chat and let me know you're watching, even if you're watching on the replay. I'm so excited to talk about today's topic. We're going to be focusing on practical life activities. And honestly, these are some of the easiest and most fun ways to bring Montessori into your home for your children that are aged, well, let's say around 1 to 3 years old. So, they can easily be overlooked. Practical life activities can easily be overlooked or put in a category of perhaps chores or something similar. So I'm here today to tell you why practical life activities are so important. And I'm going to even give you some activity ideas. So if you're stumped on what to do next with your child in the practical life activity category, stick around because we're going to talk about that right now, today on Montessori Mondays with Holly. So give me some heart emojis if you're watching now. Let me know in the comments if you are excited to know more about practical life activities. All right, let me see here. Diana's here. Hello, how are you? Diana's inside of the Montessori Learning Center with me. I'm so glad you're here to join us. We're going to be talking about practical life activities for the whole month inside of the Montessori Learning Center. So this will be a perfect way to get started with that, Diana. Heart emojis, awesome. Perfect. Okay. So how many of you have actually set up some practical life activities in your home already? Let me know in the comments what your favorites are, what your child's favorites are. So is your child maybe washing windows, helping you unload the dishwasher, hanging up laundry? What's their favorite practical life activity to do with you so far? Okay, so not only are these activities some of the easiest activities to put together, but they're often the cheapest because everything you need is usually already in your home. So yay for that one, right? Because we're all kind of stuck at home right now. And this is going to be a really easy way for you to incorporate some Montessori into your home without having to buy a bunch of materials or even leave your house. So let me just check that this video is up in working. It is if Diana can see it, but I want to make sure really quick on my computer. There we are. Okay, perfect. And great. Let's get going into the topic for today. So practical life, yes, it should be at the very core of your Montessori households. And I'm going to explain exactly what practical life is before we go any farther, because that's very important to understand exactly what practical life means. So practical life activities are constructed based on the activities of a child's daily reality, okay? Your child's daily life. This is what these activities should include. Practical life activities relate to the child and are always a part of a child's reality. They respond to a child's inner need. Now, what this means is that when you do practical life activities with your child then receives a message that they are a valuable member of their family and they're becoming more independent from you, and the collaboration of the activity builds trust between you and your child. So you can see how important this is in a child's life, to be included in the family units, and as well as learn to be independent and learn about collaboration. So one really great example of this is laundry, right? This is a big part of your child's reality right now because they're learning to dress themselves and clean up after themselves. So being able to help wash the clothes or help hang them up after they are washed, or even help fold them and put them away, is allowing them to feel a part of the family by contributing and building that trust with their parent. So let me know, have you let your child help with any laundry? So this is just one of many, many activities that you can do for practical life. And I have more activity suggestions coming up for you, included in the Montessori Practical Life activity list. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in this show. So if you could find ways to allow your child to feel part of the family by contributing and building trust, would you? Let me know in the comments, have you allowed your child to help with laundry before? Give me a thumbs up if you have. I know this is a pretty popular one, so I'm guessing I'll have a couple people putting some thumbs up there. If you haven't, you can go ahead and start today. Like I mentioned, there's a whole bunch of things you can do just specifically with laundry. Diana, he loves helping wash fruits and vegetables. Yes, that's such a good one. Especially for those young toddlers who are just starting with Practical Life. It's a very simple thing they can do, and they can feel accomplished when they're done because if you cut fruit, it might not look the way that a parent would cut the fruit. So they might feel like they haven't done it correctly. But washing vegetables is a pretty good one to start with because it's hard to not do correctly. Okay, so now we covered what practical life activities are. Let's talk about why practical life activities are so important. As I mentioned earlier, these activities help facilitate independence and a sense of belonging, which is very, very important. But it's also so important to note that practical life activities support your child in other ways as well. So practical life activities help support human tendencies such as order, group orientation, and exploration, just to name a few. For example, group orientation can mean families or church or schools. And when we participate in group orientation, we feel a part of a community. So we care for and are contributing members of our community. And we already discussed how important that is to our young child to feel like they're helping in their family, in their community. So practical life activities also support the absorbent mind, which, as you might already know, is your child's unconscious way of learning and developing from their environment. And lastly, practical life activities help support your child's sensitive periods. Now, this is something I talk about often. So if you need more information about that, let me know in the comments. But sensitive periods such as order, development of movement, development of language, refinement of senses, these are just a few. But these practical life activities really help build and support your child through those big sensitive periods. So it's so important to remember that these are the reasons we do practical life, not to just have your toddler be doing chores, right? It's actually helping them. It's actually supporting them in their developmental stage. So this is the goal of practical life. And I've got a lot of examples for you guys inside of the Montessori Practical Life activity list. And don't worry, I'm going to be telling you about that next. I'm going to tell you how you can get your hands on it at the bottom, at the end of this video. So stick with me because I've got one more thing to talk about. But before that, let me know if this is making sense. Practical life activities are not just chores. They are so much more. Let me know in the comments if you have already been supporting your child through practical life activities at home. And like Diana said, she's been doing washing vegetables and fruits. So anything like that, let me know in the comments if that's something you have been up to. Okay, so now for the really fun part. As I mentioned earlier, I will be giving you guys access to the Montessori Practical Life activity list. But first, you need to know there are 4 categories when it comes to practical life activities, right? Care of person, care of the environment, movement of furniture, and grace and courtesy. Now, when we talk about activities such as cleaning, like washing your hands, dressing, brushing hair, brushing teeth, or any other self-care activities, these would all fall under the care of self category. Now, when we talk about the activities that are more leaning toward cleaning, like care of the environment category would include mopping or washing dishes or sweeping, laundry, like we talked about earlier, window washing, all of that falls into the care of environment. Now, when we talk about moving tables and chairs, as well as learning how to sit in a chair properly, that falls under moving chairs and furniture, or moving furniture, sorry. And the last category, grace and courtesy, for a child aged 0 to 3 is mostly done through modeling, as in your child is watching you and absorbing everything you do, including how you act in the category of grace and courtesy. So if you're saying your manners and you're respecting your child as you speak to them, they're gonna model that behavior and do it back to you. Eventually, sometimes it doesn't happen like that. Okay. All of these categories are equally important when it comes to practical life, and lucky for us, there is one activity that encompasses all of these categories. Do you know what it is? Let me know in the comments if you have a guess of what activity it could be that encompasses all of these categories: care of self, care of movement, movement of furniture, and grace and courtesy. I'll wait a second. I'll give you a second to type it. Food prep. Yes, that's right. Food preparation activities such as slicing bananas, spreading butter on bread, making guacamole, or even just transferring berries or sorting berries from bowl to bowl can be a fantastic way to support your child in all of these categories. And these are just the type of activities that are on the Montessori Practical Life activity list that I'm going to tell you about now. So let me know if that's clear for you guys. 4 activities, I guess that's 8, let's say 4 activities, 4 categories of practical life for you guys to focus on at home. So when you're thinking about creating more practical life in your home, think back to these 4 categories and try to decide which one of those activities you are doing. So maybe you can spread it out a little bit. Instead of focusing all on care of the environment, like cleaning, you can focus on some care of self as well, or movement of furniture and practice sitting in a chair. It's just an easier way to categorize it for us, and to make sure we're giving a variety of practical life activities to our children. Okay, so I am so glad to hear that you guys are able to do some of these food prep activities at home. I will just double check the comments here. I know I saw Diana say that she washes fruits and vegetables, so that is definitely food prep there. And I'm really glad to see that you're able to do that, because I really want to make sure you have all the resources to do so. And if you're already doing it, that means you already have the right mindset to keep going forward. And now, knowing how important practical life activities are, I am going to be able to help you with a list of activity ideas. So this is why today I want to offer you the Montessori Practical Life activity list for free. I'll add the link here in the comments, and you can grab your copy for free today. Now, let me know how important practical life is. This list is the perfect way to make Montessori Practical Life activities in your home a priority. Let me know in the comments, and I'll answer any questions you guys have right now, and then I'll be signing off. But I will come back if you're on the replay and answer any questions you have. So let me get that link for you guys, and I will, let's see, find the link here. I thought I had it ready, sorry. And you guys can go ahead and just grab your copy. It's nothing other than a sign-up page, and I'll just go ahead and pop it in here now. You get a full practical life activity list sent to you. So if you're kind of thinking, what practical life can I do with my child? This is the perfect list to get started with that. And as you can see, it's an age-appropriate list. So you have 3 categories. I think it starts at 12 months and then 18 months and 24 months. But let me just put a disclaimer on this because I think people get really sidetracked with the ages. Now in Montessori, we don't really put ages on things because we follow each child's lead. So if your child is not doing something in the age category that they're in, that doesn't mean they're behind. It just means they're not interested in it, and that's okay. These are just starting points. So if, for instance, at 12 months, it says washing fruits and vegetables, and you haven't done that yet, don't let your mind take over and think, oh, I haven't done this yet. I'm not giving my child everything. No, that's not it. You can start now. It doesn't matter if they've done it since 12 months or if they start at 2 years old. It's just some ideas and an age that they might be able to get started with it. And I hope that better explains it for you, because every time I give this list out, I always have a few people who start to feel like that they're behind. And that is not the intention of this list, right? It's just a way to get some new ideas sparked in your mind. For me, when I first saw these lists, when I was first getting started with Montessori, I was really thankful because I was like, oh, bread and butter. I never even thought letting my child to spread butter on bread. I just didn't think of it. But now I have this list of ideas that makes it easy for me to kind of think about some new ideas to do in the home. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Kind of rambling there for a second, but hopefully that makes sense for you guys. And I don't see any comments here, any Montessori questions, but like I said, if you have any, let me know in the comments, even if you're watching on the replay, and I will get back to them as soon as I can. So thank you guys for joining me in this second episode of Montessori Mondays with Holly, and I will be back next week to talk all about toilet learning, another fun activity to do while we're stuck at home. So thank you for joining me and have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye-bye.